Let's explore how to add static typing to React applications using TypeScript. React, a popular JavaScript library for building user interfaces, combines powerfully with TypeScript, a superset of JavaScript that adds static typing. In this video, we will learn how to set up and use TypeScript with React to enhance your development experience. There are several benefits to using TypeScript with React. Firstly, it provides type safety, allowing you to catch errors at compile time rather than at runtime. Secondly, it offers better IntelliSense, which enhances autocomplete and code suggestions, making development faster and more accurate. Thirdly, it enables safe and confident code refactoring. Finally, types serve as inline documentation, making your code easier to understand and maintain. There are a couple of ways to set up TypeScript with React. For a new project, you can use the Create React App command, specifying the TypeScript template. The command is npx create React app, your app name, followed by the flag, template TypeScript. Alternatively, if you're using Vite, you can use the command npm create Vite at latest, followed by your app name, and then the flag, template React-ts. Let's see how to define a basic React component with props using TypeScript. First, define an interface for the props. For example, an interface called userProps could define the name as a string, age as a number, and is active as an optional Boolean. Then, implement the component using this interface. The user component accepts name, age, and is active props of type userProps, and returns a div containing the name and age. Here's how to use React hooks with TypeScript. For the useState hook, you can specify the type of the state variable using generics. For example, const followed by square brackets containing count, set count, then equals to useState, with a generic number and initial value 0. Similarly, for a user, you can define const followed by square brackets containing user, set user, then equals to useState, with a generic user, or null, and the initial value null. For the useEffect hook, you can define the types for the data being fetched. Here's an example. Inside the useEffect hook, an asynchronous function fetchData is defined. This function fetches data from an API endpoint, then converts the response to JSON. The type of this JSON is userArray. Finally, the hook setUsers is called with the data. Now let's look at event handling in React with TypeScript. For click events, define the event handler function with the correct event type. For example, const handle click is equal to an arrow function that takes event, which is of type React.mouseEvent, with HTML button element. Inside the function, prevent the default action. For form events, similarly, define the event handler functions with the appropriate event types such as React.formEvent, with HTML form element, and React.changeEvent, with HTML input element. Here are some common TypeScript patterns you might find useful. Union types allow a variable to have one of several types. For example, a status type can be defined as either loading, success, or error. An API response interface can then use this status type for its status property. Generic props allow you to create reusable components that can work with different types of data. The list props interface defines that items is an array of type T, and the render item is of type React.reactNode. Here are some best practices to keep in mind when using TypeScript with React. Always use a strict TypeScript configuration to catch potential errors. Define clear interfaces for your components' props to ensure type safety. Avoid using the any type whenever possible, as it defeats the purpose of using TypeScript. Finally, leverage TypeScript's IntelliSense features for a smoother development experience. In summary, TypeScript plus React equals a better developer experience, with enhanced type safety, improved developer experience, and maintainable React applications. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit CodeLucky.com for more such useful content.